me dipping when the moon comes out. That sounds like good times and tan lines, cold beer and summer nights. That was all there was to life. Good times and tan lines, good times and tan lines. Nothing but time, nothing to lose. Guess there really wasn't nothing else to do but load up the truck and just take off. Back then, buddy, we had 'em all. I'm talking about good times and tan lines, cold beer and summer nights. That was all there was to life. Good times and tan lines, good times and tan lines. Good times and tan lines, good times and tan lines.
Country 103.9 WRBI, Zach Top, Good Times and Tan Lines. I'm Rob LaFerry. That's going to do it for me here on this Monday night. Come back and do it all over again tomorrow beginning at 3 o'clock and going until 7. Minutes away from Coach's Corner, delivered by Ison's Family Pizza. Be sure to be tuned in for tonight's show. Otherwise, enjoy your Monday night. Safe travels wherever you may go. We are back together again on Tuesday on Country 103.9 WRBI.
In case you hadn't heard, Scripture Auto in Greensburg is now a part of Whitewater Motors.
My name is Jamie Scripture. I've been here since 1990. My brother Dave Scripture has been here for 35, 40 years as well. We have Dave Giddings as our salesman. He's been doing it his whole life. One of the reasons we merged with Whitewater Motors, we've got more inventory for them to pick from, just more choices for the customer. You know, instead of having one or two of a certain brand, now we offer, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. If you have an issue down the road, you can call Jamie Scripture or Dave Scripture. Try that at some of the bigger places. It's just customer service. We've been taking care of people for a decade. That's our biggest thing. We treat them like family, always have. We deal with all credit types, good, bad, terrible. If you think your credit's too bad, give us a chance. Rest assured, Dave Scripture and myself, Jamie Scripture, are still here running the business. So that's the big thing.
Visit them online at whitewatergreensburg.com.
I'm WRBI meteorologist Paul Frobley with southeastern Indiana's most reliable forecast. Lows level off around 28 with fog and spots tonight under mainly cloudy skies. Winds out of the south around 5 miles per hour. Daytime highs approaching 49 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Right now, it's 43 degrees.
Country 103.9 WRBI.
I've been doing better. I hardly ever think of you lately. It ain't all sunshine. When you cross my mind, I start missing you like crazy. I try to numb the pain, but there ain't no damn way. I end up in that place and I'm just one whiskey away. And I don't mind if I do. Drink up the nerve to show up at your house. If you wanna know the truth, it's killing me not holding you right now. I'm one memory away from falling all the way apart, 'cause I might still love you. Hope you don't mind if I do. without you. I got a little sleep, but some nights I can't control it. Sometimes I give in because not having you is hard on me. But when I give in to that vice and pour another over ice, well, girl, I know that's when I start missing you again. And I don't mind if I do drink up the nerve and show up at your house. If you wanna know the truth, it's killing me not holding you right now. I'm one memory away from falling all the way apart, 'cause I might still love you. I hope you don't mind if I do. Need you to pick me up when I'm covered in that goodbye dust. You're the only thing that gets me through.
Well, I don't mind if you do. Drank a little too much and show up at my house. It'd be nice to hear the truth. Is it killing you not holding me right now? If falling into me is the only thing you think is gonna get you through, then I don't mind if you do. I don't mind.
Well, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow, kick off your shoes and you throw them on the floor, dance in the kitchen till the morning light, Louisiana Saturday night. Waiting in the front yard, sitting on a log, a single-shot rifle and a one-eyed dog. Yonder come my kinfolk in the moonlight, Louisiana Saturday night. Well, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow, kick off your shoes and you throw them in the floor, dance in the kitchen till the morning light, Louisiana Saturday night. My brother Bill and my other brother Jack, belly full of beer and a possum in a sack, 15 kids in the front porch light, Louisiana Saturday night. When the kinfolk leave and the kids get fed, me and my woman gonna slip off to bed, have a little fun when we turn out the lights, Louisiana Saturday night. Well, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow, kick off your shoes and you throw them on the floor, dance in the kitchen till the morning light, Louisiana Saturday night. Yeah, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow, kick off your shoes and you throw them on the floor, dance in the kitchen till the morning light, Louisiana Saturday night. Get down the fiddle and you get down the bow, kick off your shoes and you throw them on the floor, dance in the kitchen till the morning light, Louisiana Saturday night.
Go Hoosiers! 103.9 WRBI.
What's going on, mama? Something just dawned on me. I ain't been home in some months. Been chasing songs and women, making some bad decisions. God knows I'm drinking too much. Yeah, I know you've been worrying about me. You've been losing sleep since 93. I thought you should know that all those prayers you thought you wasted
proud of where I came from. Stay on the dancer. Can you believe I'm on the radio? Just thought you should know. Thought you should know. Thought you should know. Oh, by the way, mama, didn't mean to ramble on you. How's everything back at home? Yeah, how's that garden coming? Is that still doing dumb? And how'd he keep you this long? Yeah, I'm sorry that I called you so late. I just miss you, but anyways, I thought you should know that all those prayers you thought you wasted on me must have finally made their way on through. I thought you should know.
WRBI Batesville, Greensburg, Versailles, Brookville now presents Southeastern Indiana's longest running and most listened to sports show. It's Coach's Corner, broadcasting live from the Coach Raver Corner at Ison's Family Pizza. Listen on 103.9 FM or the WRBI app. And now you can watch the show happen live too at WRBI-TV.com or on our Facebook page. Here is the host of Coach's Corner, Coach Rob LaFerry.
Delivered by Ison's Family Pizza here on this Monday night. We are at the Raver Corner, and for the first time in a long time at the Raver Corner with temperatures outside above 32 degrees. Rob LaFerry with you. Full show tonight. Let's get underway. Batesville head coach on the boys basketball side, Aaron Garrett, joining us here to open up tonight's show. Batesville coming in 16-2. That includes a pair of wins this past week. And, Coach, let's start there. And with the obvious one from last Thursday night at South Dearborn, it's a conference game, 68-67 victory. At one point in the game, you guys are down by 16. Comeback complete, free throws with 3 seconds to go. A very impressive road win, a lot of determination, a lot of grit on the part of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I agree with all that, and it was important because it lets us control our own destiny in terms of the conference race. We sit at 5-0. East Central has one loss. And then we have Rushville coming in this weekend in the East Central. And we finish our conference season this weekend with a Thursday-Saturday combo. But going to the South Dearborn game, it was impressive in a lot of different ways in terms of they're athletic, and they really crashed. We did not handle that well early. They got they just crushed us on the boards. Mm-hmm. And then Braden Maple ends up getting in a couple interesting calls, but nonetheless, he ends up getting 3 fouls in fairly early into the second quarter. And we're out without Braden Hughes. So of all games to be without Braden, and Braden brings a lot of things to us, but definitely brings physicality, post presence, rebounding, all the things we needed help with against a long, athletic, tough, rugged South Dearborn team. And I thought we were a little shell-shocked in terms of, until you really get it between the lines and play somebody, how fast are they? How athletic are they? How physical are they? And South Dearborn wanted to beat us, right? They're a varsity team, a really good varsity team, well-coached, that also wanted to beat us, and they put it to us. And then we were undone. We weren't hitting very many shots, and we're down, like you said, 16. But we had a nice finish to the first half and had a couple quick scores there to get down within 12. And I challenged my staff and myself a lot with, are we going to judge or are we going to develop? Mm-hmm. And there's been times where I've went into halftime and I've turned the locker room upside down. I didn't feel like this night was one of those in terms of we'd weathered the storm without Maypen for a long stretch. We had not shot it well, and yet we're within striking distance. And the challenge for the guys was methodically, can we just possession by possession get a body on somebody first of all? Because we were not putting bodies on people rebounding-wise in the first half. And then can we just have great offensive possessions and just chip away at this thing? And at the end of the third, we outscored them by 10 in the third quarter. So now we're in the basketball game. But it comes down possession by possession. Some tough, and Mape stays in the second half, which was critical for us, especially without Braden Hughes there to give us any other size. But then other guys played well in terms of just gutting through some tough minutes. And I'm smiling right now because I do remember at one point James, Cameron, T-Lou, James especially was like, I need a break. Like, too late, right? We're in the midst of that fourth quarter. And just tough plays made down the stretch, mentally and physically, to withstand all the things. Because some calls went both ways, right? Some possessions went both ways. Some mistakes happened. And one of them being a tough call there with 9 seconds left, which puts South Dearborn up at the free throw line. Tie ball game. They missed the first, then they had hit in the second one. And you talk about James Hughes, and I'll admit this openly. Sometimes it's better to be lucky as a coach than good, because I know we had at least 2 timeouts left. And my thought process was trying to convey to the guys, hey, let's race car this thing up to half court. We'll call timeout at half court, 6 or 7 seconds left, plenty of time to run a half court action, a half court side out of bounds. I knew exactly what I wanted to run, but the guys didn't hear me and the officials didn't hear me. And thank goodness, because we got into the open floor, defense was broken, ball gets to James, and James goes downhill and makes some fundamental critical plays in terms of a jump stop, pivot, and he earns himself a foul and gets to the free throw line. And from there, the whole place is loud. I mean, it was a game. It was very much a tournament feel game where each possession was critical. You had to make quick adjustments. I thought our guys handled some half-time adjustments well, took some things out of timeouts well, and really solidified on both ends of the floor. But then it comes down to a dude on the free throw line had to make 2 free throws in that raucous environment. And literally, as much as I look forward, there's the entire student section of the South Dearborn team right there on the baseline on those bleachers. So just love the fact that James got up there and knocked down free throws. And speaking of free throws, not only does he knock down 2 free throws to put us up, but for the game, we were 20 of 21 free throws. And we needed every single one of them. And from 2-point field goals, we were 15 of 21. And we shot okay from 3, but the guys did a really nice job of just running an exhausting offense where we're getting downhill. Guys put their head down and penetrated, come to jump stops, making the extra pass, hitting guys on a tight curl for a layup. And it took everybody, right? But no doubt those free throws became critical, and James hit 2 huge ones with the most pressure on.
I like that you brought up the fact that, the atmosphere last Thursday at South Dearborn, it's kind of good to see that, because in about 3 more weeks, you're right back at South Dearborn for Class 3A Sectional 29. It's going to be the exact same atmosphere, so you already have that experience under your belt of playing a regular season game that had that tournament feel to it.
For sure, and there's a good chance, no matter who we see, right? It's conference opponents. It's a solid Jennings County team, and South Dearborn is definitely on their home floor. I mean, you could argue, or if not the favorite to win it, right? So it'll probably end up still going through them on their home floor. And now to experience that, and just there's times through a course of a long season where you either grow up or you don't, right? You take steps forwards or you keep faltering. And the Bulldogs took quite a step forward on Thursday night in an impressive fashion. And kudos to the guys, because we were shorthanded. I didn't go to the bench much in the second half in terms of the sophomores. And the guys got a tough win. The tougher wins we've had in a while.
And then on Saturday, you go on the road, Coach, and a completely different ball game. 77-53 win at Madison. It's a very young Madison team that I think's got talent. I think it's going to take a couple of years, though, for them to develop. It's actually a game where Madison is going to be out in front for a while. You guys make a huge run. We've already talked about James Hughes and how big he was on Thursday, and I do feel that because of the game he had on Saturday, you got to start with him. 39 points at Madison, possibly the most impressive performance he has put on as a Bulldog.
No, without question. And I'll give you some perspective from I've tracked, with the help of Terry Geesting as well, we've tracked 30 points seems to be a threshold. Right? If you score 30 points individually in a game, that puts you in some rarefied air in our 106-year program. So he has, with that 39, I think that was the 11th. I don't have that in front of me, but I think that was the 11th highest point total in terms of Colt Ryan there at 52 points with the most in the game, down to that 39 threshold. And then to make 7 threes. That puts him in second place, and the three-point line came into high school basketball in 87. Jason Laudick had 9 3-pointers in a game. I think he has 89 in a regional game. And then James is now one of 3 guys that have hit 7 in a game. So I would say the most impressive thing about his stat line on Saturday was, yes, he has 39 points, but it was only on, if I can read here, with only on 22 attempts. Pretty physical game, especially the way James was being guarded. He didn't get at the free throw line. So it's impressive that he got 39 points on just 22 attempts. And that just shows you how, and the efficiency is what comes to mind with James. And I'll go ahead and share with you guys on air what I shared with the team afterwards. Is it on my mind a little bit now that we have, because we've got elite players all around. And the worst thing that could happen now, does one guy get too worried, or is there jealousy that goes around? So we talked about that openly tonight in film, because we preach mudita, right? Having vicarious joy for other people's accomplishments. And the great thing about the team we have this year, I think they have plenty of mudita. And the play that comes to my mind on Saturday, he gets pushed ahead to James, and James he attacked the right wing under the right baseline. He could have done his pull-up jumper, which he's really good at. But instead, he jumps to make a pass, not find a pass. He finds the corner. It goes from corner to wing to Mape, top of the key. Mape looks at the rim, does a no-look, and staying right over there, wide open, is Braden Hughes. And Braden is ready. Hands is ready. Mind's ready. He hits a 3 that sparks all of us. And I put on the film this afternoon. It's a work of art because everybody touched it. It took everybody. We got to stop right before that. And I think that's the beauty of this basketball team. So now how do we use the performance of James Hughes? And it's a special performance. There's no question about that. But what it does create now is even more gravity against defenders, against opponents, where as you come in to play the Bulldogs, right, you have to take care of James Hughes. And then just go down the line from Trenton to Braden to Ethan to Cameron to Skip to our guys off the bench. You got to pick your poison. And the guys have done, and I told them, and some of them have heard me this before, when we are hunting shots or we're hunting stats, there's just been very little of that this year. So all good things in terms of that elite performance. But like you said, the game with Madison, we're only up 1 at half. And those guys, you talk about those freshman guards, especially the one, but they've got some athletic sophomores and juniors, the big man is the senior. And it's what I'd seen on film. So I wasn't really surprised, but that is a cold, long bus ride on a Saturday morning, right? And how are you going to react? You see weird scores in February all over the state. And I think that's the biggest testament to the guys is we just kept running them down. We're up 1 at half. We come out, have a solid third quarter. We're up 8 at the end of 3, but then we just blast them to start the fourth. And we really made it a point where they wore down. Their youth wore down. We were able and Rob, probably equally as impressive as how we're getting things dialed in defensively. And that's going to continue to serve us well as we move forward to this weekend's games.
And we talk about James Hughes, again, big week. I saw that you shared it on social media, and I went ahead and put my vote in. But, because of James's accomplishments this past week, going to be up for Indianapolis Star Player of the Week. There's a lot of talented players out there, but, everyone gets out and votes. I believe last check I had, he was in second place in voting, and just a really cool honor that kind of takes you away from that local scene and puts you on a more big of a platform in terms of a statewide.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. We talk about that as a team, too. Anything that happens individually is good for Batesville basketball, right? Because it gets it, like you said, the Indianapolis Star. I nominated for the IBCA Player of the Week, which is very prestigious. Cole Pride was our last one to get that. And fans that are listening in, watching, you can vote as many times as you deem possible. So it goes until Friday. So keep voting. We're up against Carmel has one player. They've got more kids in their high school than we have in our town. But we'll continue to vote. And no matter how that goes, it's like you said, it's fun just to have Batesville basketball with that notoriety. And again, yes, James has worked extremely hard on everything he's accomplished skill set wise. But it doesn't happen. I'll give you another play. It doesn't happen without the team basketball aspect where one play, Trent Lewers drives in hard, jump stops, creates a pivot. James sees that his defender looks in to T-Lou, and James just cuts the back of his head, back cuts, and T-Lou drops an assist off right at the rim that James is able to finish. So James would be, if he was on air right now with us, he'd be the first one to tell you. I mean, he's so efficient because, yes, his skill set, but second, the way that basketball moves and is shared right now, we're getting high-level assists on number of made field goals, and we're really getting to the point where we're creating a lot of good shots for everybody.
Talking Batesville boys basketball with head coach Aaron Garrett. Batesville is 16-2 heading in to this week, and you've already talked, Coach, a Thursday, Saturday for you this week. You can wrap up the EIAC title. These are going to be two interesting ball games. Let's start with Thursday night at home against Rushville. I know Rushville's been on a bit of a downward spiral lately. They started out the season very strong, but number one, Carrie Brown is Carrie Brown. You know they're going to be well prepared. And number two, even in some losses here as of late, they're getting awfully close to some very good basketball teams.
Oh, for sure. They were possession by possession with Greensboro. Had them down early. Had South Dearborn down early. That South Dearborn team, we just had to scrape, claw, and fight to get out of their place with a win. I think it was 7-2 at the end of the first quarter, right? So, and Coach Brown's team, they're getting better at taking care of the ball. Our main task is going to be to speed them up, and can we create turnovers, period. That's key number one to get the victory on Thursday. And then they're going to play that pack line defense. So blocker mover offense, pack line defense on the other end. So we'll have some opportunities to move the basketball. We'll have to create our own gaps to try to get some penetration and jump stops. If we're able to do that, there will be some opportunities for drives and kicks. There'll be opportunities to crash the board on some of our long shots because it really shows on film right now, they very rarely come outside that three-point line. So we are blessed with some guys that once they get their minds and feet set, we can knock down that shot. But that's the most important game because that is, if we can take care of Thursday, that solidifies it at worst a share of a conference title, and that's been a big goal of ours this year.
And then would set up a Saturday matchup in the afternoon against the Central, a team that you guys have already played this year back on December 20th, 68-51. You pull away in the second half. Historically, though, I always feel like whoever wins that first go-around has had a major challenge in the second go-around. So I think East Central certainly has grown since December 20th, and that's always a fun atmosphere at home to play that Saturday afternoon game.
Yeah, and the fans that were at that game in December remember, they get margined up at that, but we were never truly able to break away, right? And they've now inserted their sophomore into the game, who's a very, very good high school basketball player, so that changes the complexion of their team. It'll change our scout. But the nice thing is, what I like about this week is we'll play a game Thursday, but then we got a day on Friday to get prepped and then turn around and play a East Central game on Saturday afternoon. And you know this, I think if I looked on Harrell, literally over the last 40 years, I think it's dead even.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right?
Yep.
And go back with in my career anyway, very rarely on either side is there any type of really blowout.
Yep.
So wouldn't be mad if there was one Saturday, but I know Coach Teasing will have those guys ready. And whenever you have a player like Rogers that can, he'll be an all-conference player easily, and as he should be, but that guy can really fill it up. He stretches your defense. You have to go. He's like Trent Lewis, right? You have to go all the way out to guard him. And if you don't, he's going to hit you, right? He's going to knock down shots, but then that opens up things. And the sophomore, he's a big, but he's not running a lot of point guard for him. He's a skilled player with the ball in his hands, so he'll provide some matchups for us that we'll have to think through. But I'm excited what we're working on defensively that we started literally after the South Dearborn game, some things I found from the NBA level that we've been working on at practice, and it's just communication, but some better ways to teach communication. And I shared it with you as well, some things.
And I did my homework, and I did read it.
It's good. It's really good, and the video with it's good too. So it's not just old guy me saying, hey, guys, talk, and here's how you should talk. But it's showing them NBA players, and I went to see Cole Pride play over at Hanover last Wednesday. Huge win for the Rose Hallman Engineers against a good Hanover team. And the amount of talk on that floor, it's just so that is, I think, as we drill down, as we get ready for the sectional, I think that is recipe number one for us to get to the championship levels we want to get to. Can we increase our intentional talk? Let alone go from no talk, because right now, and it's of any basketball team for the most part, but can we get some really intentional talk? And man, they did a nice job of it today.
Final question, Coach, and you mentioned going to see Cole Pride play for Rose Holman this past week. You and I have had the conversation about Big Smooth before, away from radio, just hanging out. The transformation that young man has made, just talk about the growth that you have seen out of him as a player, as a person, because, Big Smooth in high school has turned into an absolute force at the college level.
Yeah, first, he's looking like us with his facial hair, so that's a plus. And then second, he's still, and God love him, he should be a year younger as far as there, but he creates, we talk about gravity on the basketball floor, he creates that and more for for Rose Hallman, and you can tell the other guys are more used to him now too, because they're getting some shots from deep that weren't there before. They're playing off him. And Big Smooth is working like crazy in terms of a lot of ball screen offense and roll, and then come back up and recycle for a ball screen defensively. They are hard hedging, trapping, recovering with hands up. So he had asked to come out a couple times because he's coming back from a high ankle sprain. But he looked really good, and that was a huge win for them. I know they unfortunately dropped the one Saturday, but, man, they're right in the thick of it in terms of a conference race. But as good and as much a transformation as Cole's making on the basketball floor, he's just a super, super impressive human being, too. So it's been fun to have some walk-in talks with him as he just contemplates what the future looks like.
All right, Coach, we'll go ahead and let you go tonight, and we are scheduled to broadcast Thursday and Saturday. I've got the call. Brian Samples will be with me, so it'll be a lot of coach talk going on Thursday and Saturday. Best luck to the Bulldogs this week.
Yeah, and speaking of Coach Samples, congratulations to he and Coach Disbrow on a fine season there at Oldenburg Academy. And then to our Lady Bulldogs. They fought, they battled, and no matter what anybody says, they put together successful seasons.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see that maturity and growth take place over another offseason and see the Lady Bulldogs back on the floor next season.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. That's Batesville boys basketball head coach Aaron Garrett. As we step aside and take a timeout, we come back with more Coach's Corner after this, delivered by Ison's Family Pizza on the Sports Voice Country 103.9 WRBI, WRBI-TV, and the WRBI app.
Simmer and sear with confidence using a Maytag freestanding electric range with 5 elements, including a 9-inch and 6-inch dual choice element, variable broil, and warming center. You can knock out mealtime in no time. The steam clean cycle and fingerprint resistant stainless steel finish makes it easy to keep clean inside and out. Shop Garing's today. Garing's in Maytag, 316 North Main, Batesville.
When life takes unexpected turns, Moore Law is there to help. Moore Law can help with estate planning, elder law, nursing home planning, criminal defense, family law issues, and civil litigation. They stand behind their clients every step of the way. From protecting loved ones and securing your future to defending your rights, Moore Law's attorneys bring a wealth of knowledge and dedication to every case. Call 812-932-1227. Moore Law, attorneys you can trust.
Back to more Coach's Corner with Rob LaFerry, delivered by Ison's Family Pizza on 103.9 FM. Streaming audio on the WRBI app and with video on our Facebook page and at WRBI-TV.com.
And welcome back to Coach's Corner, delivered by Ison's Family Pizza. Rob LaFerry with you again tonight. Just wrapped up talking Batesville boys basketball with head coach Aaron Garrett. Bulldogs 16-2. They will be at home Thursday and Saturday this week, taking on Rushville and East Central. We'll talk more about those broadcast times for you later on tonight. But we are going to switch gears. It is the off season. And yes, his softball diamond is still currently covered by every layer of snow imaginable. Absolutely. But we are talking Batesville softball now with head coach Gene Cooney. Coach, first off, speaking of that softball diamond, last year was year number 1. Talk about just the new and improved facility for you guys and how it benefited you all throughout your first spring.
Oh, it was great. Being able to go out right after school or whatever and just go to your diamond instead of driving to the park and going out there and hauling everything over there. And do we have enough? Or we got kids that are in 8U, 10U waiting for us to get off the diamond so they can get on and eager to go. So it was a lot. It was a smoother, and it felt like we were, in a season instead of playing like a travel type of season that we were always on the road. So
talk about now the off season. You've got girls coming in. You are right at that time now where you're technically about 2 months out of playing a game number 1, but this is that time where you're starting off-season workouts. You're starting to bring girls in. Talk about what you've been able to accomplish in terms of that conditioning and those open gyms to get ready for a new season.
Well, right now we're doing twice a week to get in there. We were off for, seemed like 3 weeks because of the snow and not being able to get in and school cancellations and stuff. So we missed that, but we're allowed to do so many practices, open gyms in the off season. So we're at twice a week right now. We may add another one or two since we've missed some times just to be able to add those back in. About a couple hours and basically just working on basic fundamentals, getting them back into the rhythm and throwing. And with, I think we have, 2 seniors, three juniors, 5 sophomore, and the rest are freshmen. So getting them in there and acclimated to work ethic, showing up on time, being ready to go basically that's what we've been doing is basic fundamentals right now.
And I feel like with the offseason and having experienced this a couple of years ago with baseball and Coach Burcham, you know, there does come a time where I think coaches and players alike are just dying to get outside. You guys are going to get to that point if you haven't been there already. But this is a great time, as you mentioned, especially for your younger players to get established to playing high school softball. There's those routines. There's those expectations. So you're able to set those in stone now. But you are also right. This is a great time for fundamental work. Not that you don't do that during the springtime, but when you're out and you're playing, you know, game practice, you know, this is a time to do a lot of that fundamental work as opposed to trying to squeeze it in between 3-4 games a week.
So this is the time, like right after season when you were doing open fields in the summer and we're doing the open gyms. It is fundamentals are the most important part of the game. You know, playing tournaments in, like, say, travel ball, and you're playing 100 games, right, a year, and then you practice 5 times or 15 times. You don't get to work on the things that you need to work on from after watching the game and going through the game at those practices. This is where we need to get those fundamentals. And then it gives us more time to work on other things that we need to do and to get the freshmen to come along and what the fundamentals of trying to catch everybody up to where the person with the most fundamentals and the lowest fundamentals, we can shrink in that to where it's not such a big gap. You know what I mean? And so doing this is the most important thing. This is where the game during the season, we make it easier on us and slow the game down by preparing like this. And so that's a big part of it. And they get indoors, repetition, 1,000 times doing something before it becomes, you know. And so it's just like we're doing this again. Yes, we are, because you haven't mastered it yet. You know, these are things that will prepare you.
Talk about last year, Coach. Overall, last year, 4-16. I got a chance to watch you guys late in the season. You look out on the field at the product. I felt like this was a team that was better than 4-16. You can see, I thought last year, the potential, but at the same time, when you took a nosedive into the roster and looked at who's there, boy, that was a young softball team last year that had to go through those growing pains.
And we still are. You know, it's funny that, you know, they come from, say, the rec league or another league or any league or playing travel or playing this, or it's the competition. And then when you get them here and you're working those fundamentals and trying to work out little kinks and everything, it's kind of, we're going to throw you into the deep end right now and let's get it going. And like you said, by the time season winds down, then we kind of got those fundamentals going and or being prepared for little things and not have to spend so much time on basic fundamentals, you know what I mean, glove work and bunting and this and that, running bases. And so they kind of get it down. Like you said, at the end of the season, we probably had 5 or 6 games that it was one inning that literally beat us. And with the youth that we had, I was proud of all these girls and the work they put in. I was proud that this is a group that they just don't give up. And so even the South Dearborn game, you know, we played them twice during the regular season. We beat them once, right? And then they beat us pretty good. We had 11 total hits in 2 games against them. Comes to the sectional, we play them. We have 25 hits. Every girl that played had a hit. And just, we went up on them, they came back, went up on them, they came back. But the little things, you could see the youth kind of trickle in some of those late innings of, if we prepare and get them in tough love, right? I'm going to be tough on you, but I'm going to, you know, love you more than I can ever be tough on you. And so preparing for those moments of, now they came back and take the lead, what do we got to do now? Are we going to shut down? Are we going to go to the plate and, you know, put the bat on the ball and work your butt off to try to get back in this game? And I was surprised, and not surprised, but I was I was very proud of how they kept fighting, and we lost, right? It was an 18-15 game. Even in the bottom of the seventh, we still had runners in scoring position with top of our order up, and we just hit lasers at people. And so I can't be mad at that. So
talk about the two young ladies off to your right, Coach. We're talking Batesville softball tonight on Coach's Corner. A little introduction for those two, and we will let them get the microphone.
Go ahead.
You can introduce them.
Cora Roth and Molly Abel.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring Cora in first. Cora's coming in. Corey, I believe you're a senior this year. Correct. So talk about what we were talking about this whole process, and now as being kind of a veteran of this softball team, what have you learned in your time? Where do you feel like you have grown as a player as this program has developed?
Mentally, 100%. It's a mental game. You just got to be totally tough, and it all just depends on how you go into it.
Talk about your position. I know you've played the infield a little bit. You've kind of been in some different places. Where do you see yourself as you prepare for a new season? Where are you hoping to improve your game at?
Well, I definitely want to be in the infield more this year, but I know I'm going to be stuck behind the plate again. Yeah, I don't know. I really hope to play some infield. But
well, it's going to surprise her a little bit. We're gonna get Yorn back behind the plate because she's a senior, so we got to get Yorn ready for next year. Not looking ahead or anything like that, but we do have to prepare her. But if I could have 10 of her, I would. But I can't, and we got to put her in a position that best is successful for the team. And I know it stinks for her because she could play basically every position except for pitcher, and she thinks she can, but she can't. But she tries to tell me that and show me that she can. But that may be a one-inning thing that we allow, maybe, or something. But she's just a utility player. But go ahead.
All right, but Cora, continue some team goals that you have for this group.
Just to get closer, I feel like, I don't know, being a family is most important to me right now. We all just come together and play our hardest, put everything out there. It's my biggest goal for senior year is just to go out there, give it my all, and to not look back, and just to go out there strong.
I felt like last year getting the chance to watch you guys play and, even taking notice of just between innings, before games, after games, seems like this is a pretty close group.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Last year was definitely the closest to like the team that I felt throughout my 3 years that I was there. Last year definitely felt like the strongest connection we've had.
Coming in as a senior, I always ask this, especially to senior student athletes, plans in the future for you as you start to wind down on high school and get ready for college or wherever you're going.
Yeah. Wait, can you say that again?
Future plans.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to Indiana State right now. I'm going to attempt to walk on, but that's pretty high standard. If I get an offer late in the season, if it's a pretty good school, I might commit. But right now I'm just working on my academics.
There you go.
And what are you going to do?
I'm going to do interior architecture design.
Perfect.
Yep. And maybe minor in, I guess architecture's already in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
From me being an Indiana State alum, you can't make a better decision there. It's a great school, and they've got a great softball program, so you certainly be making a right decision there. But Cora Roth, thank you very much. Let's pass the microphone over to Molly Abel, and Molly coming in as a junior this year. I want to talk to you about hitting, because last year I saw you rip the ball pretty good, especially late in the year. So talk about, what have you done to make yourself a bigger presence at the plate?
I would definitely just say confidence has played a huge part in my hitting, and definitely my mentality. I'd go up there all the time, hang my head when I struck out, miss a ball. But now I've just kind of gone up there with the motivation of telling myself, hey, I can do this. And I've just given myself that drive and that power, and the stuff we do behind scenes at practice, and that obviously helps me give the willpower to be able to do that, control my body, get all the right movements, and be able to make plays like that.
I feel like, and I'm trying to recall what game it was, there was a game I know last year I was doing PA for. I think you had 4 at-bats, and I think they were 4 of the hardest hit softballs I had seen in a while. I think all 4 landed right in a glove. So that's kind of where that mental piece comes in, where, hey, yeah, it's an out. It stinks. You know you're gonna beat yourself up over it, but you're making contact. There's things that you are doing. I feel like whether it's baseball, whether it's softball, it's a sport where your time's going to come. That ball is going to land in a gap. It's going to land in the right place. So I think the mental piece is a huge part of it. Taking away from hitting, some other areas that you're looking to improve upon as you get ready for the new season.
Definitely first base. I got moved there pretty abruptly.
They're really taking shots at your defensive adjustments, Coach.
Ask her, though, if she likes it.
I was playing outfield, and then I DP'd for a little bit, and then Coach decided to put me in at first. It was definitely a big adjustment, and I definitely was a little concerned about it. But the more I played it, the more I really realized that I did enjoy playing that base.
I feel like the corners, there's so much to do. The third base and first base, though, in terms of corners, are completely different. What was the biggest thing that you had to pick up playing first base?
Well, I came from the outfield, so it was definitely like a big adjustment to like when I catch the ball, like there's a lot more to do instead of just like catching the ball that's flying at you in the air, rather than catching it from one of my other teammates that's throwing it to me, and adjusting to the way it lands on the ground and when it bounces up, and making the right digs and just overall making the right plays. Talk about, finally, Molly, some goals maybe you have, or maybe even just what you're excited for about this Batesville team coming up this spring. We definitely have a very good group of freshmen. Seeing them in open gyms, they've played amazing. I'm excited to get to play with them and just continue keeping up on our drive. Our hitting, we've worked on that a lot, so that's definitely going to be a big part of this upcoming season, so I'm excited to see where that's going to take us.
All right, Molly, thank you very much. Coach Cooney, we'll wrap up with you tonight. I've got your schedule in front of me. It looks like March 31st will be a beginning date for you guys, and then shortly after that, you're right into the thick of it in the month of April, and then all of a sudden, it feels like every day there's a game. There's conference games, there's non-conference. I mean, it is just a brutal gauntlet for 2 months, and then boom, it's right into postseason. So as a coach, the message you're trying to relay in the offseason, but at the same time, kind of the same question I've given the girls, some things that you are looking forward to or excited for about this group.
Just their growth, not only as ball players, but as young ladies. Watching them grow and being confident from, Cora from her freshman year to now, the maturity, the growth, the confidence. Molly the same way. Would never put them in a position, right? Wouldn't move her to first if I think, I'm going to be a negative effect on her. It pushed her. She didn't like it at first, but the more she got comfortable with it, the more confidence she grew with it. I even asked her if she wanted to go back out in the outfield to play a little bit out there, and she was like, well, why? Am I doing something wrong at first? So definitely not, And so it's just watching the team grow. I want to win. I'm one of the most competitive people you'll probably meet. I hate to lose at anything. But the way they grew, the way we were in all these ball games, the way we were, last year or year before beating Franklin County at Franklin County, and then last year beating South Dearborn, which we hadn't done yet, and then, 2 years before that beating Greensburg at Greensburg. And so it's coming, right? But the filter system has to be there. And I think we've got that now. There's a junior high team, that there's a good group of 4, 5, 8th graders, I think 4, 5, 7th graders, and, a really sound group of 5th and 6th graders that's coming through there, and they're getting together. So that's going to be the filter system that the program needs, which is fantastic. And so I think that we're headed in the right direction. And I think the mindset with the girls has changed a little bit, right? We expect to go out and be competitive. We expect to give it your all. We expect this, but we don't expect you to be perfect at it. This game is a game of failures. You're going to make errors. You're going to fail, but how do you get back up from those? How do you readjust and not let that at bat go affect you in the field? And little by little, you can see it. And then sooner or later, it's just a switch that clicks, And those are the moments I'm proud of. Those are the moments that you look at the scoreboard and maybe we got beat by 3 or 4 because it was one inning, but you saw somebody do something that they hadn't normally done. And so that's the moments that you need to hold on to, because those are the ones that are going to lead them on at the next level, in the college, into their professionalism, and then into their families, future families, right? So.
All right, Coach, we'll go ahead and let you go tonight. I know I've already talked to Mr. Helvey. That one of try and get as many PA dates in to see you guys be out there and playing softball, and certainly ready for you guys to play, because that means hopefully the weather is warmer as well. But a big thank you for coming in tonight, to the girls for coming in tonight. Looking forward to some Batesville softball this spring.
Thanks for having us.
All right, that's Batesville softball coach Gene Cooney, along with Cora Roth and Molly Abel. Step aside, take a timeout, come back, talk Greensburg boys basketball with head coach Colin Rigney. You're listening to Coach's Corner, delivered by Ison's Family Pizza on the Sports Voice Country, 103.9 WRBI, WRBI-TV, and the WRBI app.
When it comes to you and your family's health, finding a primary care provider you can trust makes all the difference. At Margaret Mary Health, our providers aren't just here for you when you're sick. They're dedicated to being your long-term partners in health. If you're looking for a medical provider to help keep your family well, give us a call or visit us online. Our primary care providers are accepting new patients in Batesville, Brookville, Osgood, and Milan. Margaret Mary Health. Generations of care.
Ison's Family Pizza is looking to add a few new faces to our team. Cecil here. The positions open include shift manager, full and part-time driver, and back of the house. Applications are available at the front counter. Resumes can be sent to isonsfamilypizza@yahoo.com. We are trying to fill shift manager, part-time driver, and back of the house. Apply to work at Batesville's Best Pizza today. Ison's Family Pizza, 117 East George Street, downtown Batesville.
Coach's Corner with Rob LaFerry continues. Watch us live on WRBI-TV.com or on our Facebook page, and hear us live on the WRBI app and 103.9 FM. WRBI.
And we are back at the Raver Corner for Coach's Corner, delivered by Ison's Family Pizza here on this Monday night. We've talked Batesville basketball. We've talked Batesville softball. Let's go across county lines and talk some Greensburg boys basketball as we head to Decatur County. Greensburg boys basketball coach Colin Rigney joining us. Greensburg 8-10. But, Coach, it's been an awfully good stretch for your ball club. You've won 4 of your last 5, including 3 in a row. Good wins against Lawrenceburg, Rushville, and Jacksonville.
We play a really tough schedule, especially at the front half of our schedule. And one thing that we talk about a lot is just being battle tested night in and night out. And it's definitely really nice to see some wins in the column. But, you know, when you play tough teams, every single game, you understand you're going to have some losses, but you got to grow from them. And we have, and we're moving right in the right direction.
I was going to say, when you look at your schedule, I mean, you look at that front half that you just mentioned. I mean, there's Batesville, Columbus North, Jennings County. You play your holiday tournament, so you're playing Shelbyville, you're playing Valparaiso. You've played Shelbyville twice. I mean, when you look at those games, you just said it. There's losses. At the same time, there's lessons to be learned. I feel like right now your group is in a position where you're seeing that there have been lessons to be learned.
Absolutely. And, you know, we're decently young. We have 3 seniors. Our junior class is pretty heavy. But as far as overall varsity experience goes, pretty young in that column. So the guys have worked incredibly hard. I love every single player that we've got and their work ethic, and it's showing. So it's definitely been nice here down the stretch, last couple of weeks, get some wins.
What's been fun to look at with your group is when you look at box scores or you're looking through some stats. I feel like each and every night it's someone different. You're not having to lean heavily on one guy. It's been a collective effort. You just have a whole handful of guys who have been able to step up and contribute.
We do. Our leading scorer and our offensive leader in Jacoby Miller, and rightfully earned. I mean, he's led us in a lot of games. He's an offensive firepower for us. But, you know, if there are nights where he doesn't have it going, or maybe he's getting chased or defenses are making it difficult on him, we have more than enough confidence in some other guys to step up. This past week, it was Max Buning. You know, Max Buning stepped up tremendously for us, and there's been, I could go up and down the line on guys that have stepped up for us. So it's been nice.
Yep. And you talk about Max, and I go back 2 years ago with me coaching middle school basketball here at Batesville that I still have nightmares of playing Max 2 years ago. And then, last year going up against a really good 8th grade team last year, which those guys are dressing a little varsity, playing a lot of JV. But, when you talk about this still being a relatively young Greensburg team, what have you seen out of that younger group that's really stood out to you in terms of their improvement?
Oh, gosh, just number one, getting acclimated to the speed and the physicality of the game. You talk about going from 8th grade to JV or 8th grade straight to varsity. That's a humongous jump. You're skipping one, if not two spots there. And you stop playing guys that are only your age. You start playing, we have 14 and 15-year-olds, some playing against 18-year-olds. And that's different. So their ability to learn and get acclimated and be extremely coachable has been so awesome, and it's been great for them.
And I know, I even go back, again to a Max. I even think about Carson Kendall as a freshman, and I've been blessed to coach some really good talent. It's you get the normal everyday fan who just looks at a newspaper or sees a box score like, oh, well, they're not scoring. I even think about the big kid at Lawrenceburg right now who's a freshman and has been starting. You're getting those people saying, oh, well, they're really not doing much. Well, last year in 8th grade, they scored 20, 25 points a game. Again, it's a completely different basketball game. It's a completely different pace, and you're right. When you're throwing age levels all together, it's just a beast that not that many, unfortunately, understand.
Correct, and unfortunately, the people that are saying that, they're not that knowledgeable when it comes to the competitiveness of varsity athletics. It's not just basketball. You just talked to Coach Cooney in softball. If you have a 14-year-old girl going up against an 18-year-old pitcher, it's going to be different, and it goes like that for any sport.
Yep. And I feel like in having covered basketball in Kentucky in the past, they let middle school kids play. So then you have 7th and 8th graders playing at that level, and there's a whole different can of worms. That could be a conversation for a whole different program. But we are talking Greensburg boys basketball tonight. And Colin, you're right now at 8-10 on the season. You still got 6 ball games to go. You've been in a stretch where you've been extremely competitive. You need that same competitiveness coming up here the next couple weeks, because we talked about the first half of the schedule being very challenging. You're getting ready to go right back through a gauntlet to end the regular season.
Yep, and we just talked about that today. Every Monday we meet as a group to go over the week and just kind of we touch base on the previous week that we just had from a result standpoint, effort standpoint, production, all that stuff. And so we met today, and that was our big focus. We are about to go on 5 games in 10 school days. So we just got to build from one day to the next, from one play to the next. And we know these are going to be great timing games from getting ready for sectional. We're about to go to Triton Central, who's having a really, really good season. They're senior-led by a guard who's just scored it for them and been a leader for them since his freshman year. Follow that up with a young Madison team who's scary and getting better and better every play, I think, with their young guns. And then we got Seymour, South Decatur, and South Ripley, who's really good.
Yeah, and you mentioned Triton Central. That's going to be a Friday night game for you guys on the road. You are at home against Madison. Then after that, Seymour, South Decatur, who's a really good 1A. South Ripley, of course, is a really strong 2A, and East Central to end the regular season. They're at home on the 27th. This is the point. I've talked about this with every basketball coach, whether it's been a boys coach or a girls coach. When you take a look at this stretch, this is when you want to be playing your best basketball. You've seen it as a player. You've seen it as a coach. This is the time to start getting things right and getting into a rhythm, because that momentum here in February does play a factor into what you see in March.
Absolutely. And it's really important to know that as much as we all, and myself included, love results going positively in your favor, we can't rely on the win-loss column being the full determining factor of that. If we play the basketball that we know we need to play to make a run in the tournament, that's what we can live with. And fortunately for us, usually if you do that, results will follow.
Second year as a head coach at the varsity level here at the boys basketball program at Greensburg. Personally for you, we'll wrap up with this tonight. What have you learned from year 1 to year 2? I think every year there's something different to take in as a coach, but what have you felt has been the adjustments you made, differences that you've seen from year 1 to year 2?
Gosh, I'm learning every single day. I learn from my guys. I learn from I learn from everybody. I am one that seeks out feedback probably more than I should. One thing that I learned is I kind of treat this more as like it's an all-out sprint. It's not so much a marathon.
Right.
You know, if you treat it like a marathon, you can almost say like, oh, there are parts of your season, even into the offseason, that don't matter. That's not true.
Yep.
You know, it's an all-out sprint. Every single day we are working to get as good as we can that day. And I guess the one thing I learned is I've enjoyed it a lot more this year. I felt like last year, being first year, nervous. I still get nervous. But you're so worried about these results, man. Just enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Not very many people get the opportunity to coach not only high school basketball, but high school basketball in Indiana, and at a part of the state that I feel is one of the most passionate parts of the state from a fan standpoint, from a community standpoint. So just enjoying it.
Well, if you ever need rave reviews, Coach Bircham at the middle school has always got the most positive things in the world to say about you, and I do enjoy some of the stories I get about you guys from your playing days. But so it's always getting fun to reminisce about those things, but also reflect on what the Pirates have been able to do this year. And you guys are in the right direction. Coach, thanks for joining us tonight. Best of luck on Friday and Saturday at Triton Central and home against Madison.
I appreciate it, Rob. Thank you so much,
right.
and you give Coach Bircham my best.
Always.
He's getting geared up for another season ahead for him.
Yes, he is. All right, that is Greensburg boys basketball coach Colin Rigney joining us on Coach's Corner. We come back with our final guest tonight, Oldenburg Academy girls varsity basketball coach David Disborough. You're listening to Coach's Corner, watching Coach's Corner on the Sports Voice Country 103.9 WRBI, WRBI-TV, and the WRBI app.
In case you hadn't heard, Scripture Auto in Greensburg is now a part of Whitewater Motors.
If you have an issue down the road, you can call Jamie Scripture or Dave Scripture. Try that at some of the bigger places. It's just customer service. We've been taking care of people for a decade. That's our biggest thing. We treat them like family, always have. Rest assured, Dave Scripture and myself, Jamie Scripture, are still here running the business. So that's the big thing.
Visit them online at whitewatergreensburg.com.
Hey football fans, while Ivy Tech Community College doesn't have a football team, what it does have is your play to a great future. Earn a short-term certificate to quickly get into a high-wage, high-demand career. Earn your associate degree in a wide variety of programs for a more affordable transfer to a bachelor's degree. Classes are offered in person and online at the Lawrenceburg and Batesville locations. For more information, email r11express@ivytech.edu.
Coach's Corner with Rob LaFerry continues. Watch us live on WRBI-TV.com or on our Facebook page, and hear us live on the WRBI app and 103.9 FM WRBI.
And we're back with Coach's Corner at the Raver Corner from Ison's Family Pizza, as we have put together a full show for you tonight. And with me now at the Raver Corner, final guest this evening, that being Oldenburg Academy girls basketball coach David Disborough. And Coach, I was hoping maybe for a better topic starter here tonight. Unfortunately, we do have to start with the fact that the season is over for the Lady Twisters. Going back to this past Thursday, you fall in the opening round of Class A Sectional 60, 63-58. A double overtime game against the eventual champions in Trinity Lutheran. And I will say this, what an effort from your kids despite what happened on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I mean, I would say that most people that walked out of the gym Thursday night were like, whoa, that was a good game. You know, I don't think there was any other double overtimes across the state, even in the sectional. Yeah. I don't think there was a lot of other teams that were top tens that had to knock heads at all, especially on the first night. Yeah. You know, and we dealt with the snow and getting it pushed back from Wednesday to Thursday. Yeah, it was a tough loss.
And when you talk about the snow, you know, in your head and as a coach, you know, there is a plan in place. You've been through enough postseasons where you know the routine, your team knows the routine. And yeah, it may seem very, I guess, light to say, oh, you know, it's just pushed back one day. It still has some type of effect, whether, you know, it's a big one or a small one.
And you know, for us and for Trinity Lutheran, it was another day of practice when you're expecting to play on that day, and they hadn't played in 12 or 13 days. And then for them, I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch the Friday night game of Trinity Lutheran and Hauser, but like my dad, he called me and said, I can't believe Trinity Lutheran only won by 7. And I said, well, they just played 40 minutes the night before. Yeah. And what his team had to do, which we would have had to do if we would have won, would have been to play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And that was one of the things that, crazy things that go through coaches' heads during a game. But I think it was right towards the end of overtime 1, and I kept thinking, this thing has to end soon for us to win tomorrow. And for us to win Saturday, we got to get this done. We got to get it done now. So, yeah, it was I would think that for them, it would have been tough for that come back on Friday, no preparation, and for those girls to play all those minutes. And then to do it again on Saturday.
Yep, and they had some momentum. I feel like maybe running on pure adrenaline at that point on Saturday when they come back and defeat a really good Shaw Memorial team. And I go back and previewing the sectional and talking to different people. There's all the eyeballs on you guys in Trinity in the opener, like there should be. I think a lot of people forgot, though, that it wasn't going to be easy the rest of the way. You had a plus 500 Hauser team on Friday, and then Saturday. I mean, if Shaw is scoring in the way they could have, Trinity gets lucky and they stop everyone but Audrey Barron. That's the game plan they went with. I mean, there was still formidable foes along that stretch away from that opening round.
Yes, and that Trinity team, they are really, really good.
And they're young.
They are. And they've got 2 6'2" girls. They've got the 2 Warren sisters that and the one, and the shots that they made against us on Thursday night, like those 4 kids are really good players. They're probably deeper than us. And then, you watch Hauser play on Thursday night, and they scored, 60 or 70 points. They're making all kinds of shots. And like you said, they're over 500. Yep. And then Trinity Lutheran held Shaw to like less than 20 at half and did a really nice job on Barron. They got them in a little bit of foul trouble. I thought Shaw had to do some things in the second half that they didn't really want to do that cut the lead to 6. But when I saw them kind of starting to trap and pressure more and come out of that 3-2, like I knew that they weren't in their comfort zone. And I texted Coach Trimnell, who was a really good player at Seymour, who was a really good player in college, who does a really nice job with Trinity Lutheran in his first year. And you can kind of see him on the side just kind of shaking his head like some of the shots that went in, he didn't want those shots. Sometimes things are just meant to be. And they played great.
Coach, talk about your team. 19-4 is where you finish out the year. This program with you has at the helm the last 3 years has put together 59 wins. You've had 19, 21, and 19. So there's been so much success. And, with the way that basketball is set up, only 4 teams at the end of the year are going to finish out as winners. So there's disappointment, I obviously, in the finish. But, boy, it doesn't take away from what the program has been able to accomplish.
No, and it doesn't. And our administration's been great. That week that we had all that snow, they let us practice and get some games in. I'm thankful every day that they hired me. Brian Samples and Chelsea Hitchcock couldn't ask for better people, harder workers, more knowledgeable people. They're great with the kids. And then, then you start talking about our parents who are super supportive and they want and do anything and everything that we ask them to do. And then there's a lot of really, really good players. And you can go all the way back to that first group of Kate Weber and Sadie Waxman and Ellie Ryan, and you can go all the way to this year's seniors of Rachel and Maddie and Nora. And there's been a lot of talent. And we got some girls coming back that are good players. It's been fun, and we've had a lot of, I think, success and wins. We've had a lot of great experiences. We've gotten to do a lot of things. We've gotten to play at a lot of really cool places. We got to win a sectional championship, which they hadn't done since like 2007. Yep. We're going to meet with them tomorrow on our little exit meetings, and one of the things that I'm going to tell them is, you don't get a chance to do that every year. Yep. And if you do, you're lucky.
Yeah.
And you got to appreciate everyone that you get. So it's been fun.
Yep.
And hopefully that continues.
Right. And I know at the beginning of the year when you and I talked here on one of our shows, one of the biggest things that you had said was this group makes it enjoyable to come to the gym every single day. And championships are important. Winning is important, but those are experiences that you also, even as a coach, sometimes don't get to have every single year.
And I'll be completely honest with you, because I remember, I know I was in twice, but I can't remember the last time exactly. Mm-hmm. But we struggled a little bit early, even though we were winning games. Mm-hmm. We weren't playing great. We weren't scoring a lot of points. We weren't doing things that we thought we needed to do to win games. And we got a lot better.
Yeah.
And they started taking those things that we were talking about in practices and film, and we were doing those in games. And again, I didn't watch the second time until Friday night, and there were things that we didn't do great, but the way they played and as hard as they played, I mean, they try to do everything we asked them to do.
And when you talk about that senior group, they have given so much to the program. Rachel Sutman's going to leave as a 1,000-plus point scorer for the program. She was named All-District today by the IBCA, which is a tremendous accomplishment. But, you mentioned the other two. I mean, all of those kids have given a lot, not just the basketball program, but really to the school as a whole.
They really have. And Nora might have played a little bit of varsity as a freshman. Rachel did play some as a freshman, but, Rachel and Nora, and I mean, those two, the 59 wins, they've been a big part of all of those, as have your Gina Grody's and your Claire Nieces and your Aubrey Bakers and your Belle Youngs. I mean, and your Maddie Ryans, like all those people have. They're all such great kids, but Rachel's won a lot of games. She scored a lot of points. She's done a lot of things on a basketball floor. And then you can look at people like Nora and how hard she plays and how much better she's gotten. And she doesn't want to lose. And Maddie's such a great teammate. Like, I could go on and on about all of them. They're just fun people to be around, and they've worked so hard for us.
And now we talk about, Coach, going into the offseason. You've made mention that you've got a really good group still coming back who has learned from these seniors. But, another topic that you and I have discussed, now you go about off seasons where, being a smaller school, now you're going to send these girls off to play different sports, prepare for other sports. They're still going to keep basketball in their mind. But, some of me almost thinks that it's a good thing to get away for a little bit and then come back and return.
It probably is. And one of the people I forgot to even mention was Allie Nobby, who's a Division I volleyball player. And, because I'm not going to Shelbyville this weekend, I'm going to go watch my daughter coach club volleyball in Detroit. There's a chance Allie might be out there playing.
Yep.
And that's a good thing for, I think, the kids and their bodies and their minds and everything. Gina's going to be in the gym and doing her workouts and playing her AAU. Claire's going to be out playing soccer. Lydia's going to be out playing soccer. Aubrey's going to be out playing soccer. It's good for them. And it's good for Oldenburg Academy and all of those other sports teams.
Yeah, and I was going to wrap up with that. I mean, I'm glad that you made mention of that because, with those players performing in the classroom in other sports, you're not just bringing a recognition to those young ladies. You're bringing recognition to an entire community, an entire school. In the grand scheme of life, being an ambassador is going to go way farther than being a student athlete.
It really is. And then, you mentioned the IBCA, whatever the one that came out today was, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All district.
Yeah, for the one in the southern half of the state. What I also filled out today for the IBCA, which is the one, was your team GPAs over 3.5. So I had to put all 18 kids because I had them all on my roster.
Yep.
I didn't have one that was under 3.5. Yeah. And that was where you had to be. And I had all kinds of them over 4.0. They're great kids.
Yeah.
They're smart. They're very intelligent. They're into all kinds of things, and they're just good people to be around and hang out with.
Yep, and the good thing is with those caliber of academics, Coach Samples did not have to help anyone with homework, which is a huge plus.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that.
No, he's got that same education that I do.
That's exactly
over
right.
there. But no, Coach, I enjoyed watching your team. I got a chance to come out and sneak out a couple times to watch them, seen them on film a little bit. A really good group, an outstanding season. I know there's still a lot of good things to come for Oldenburg basketball. Now we turn our attention to the spring, get the umpire gear back out, and we repeat this whole pattern.
That's what I was going to tell you. You know, if Rigney's if he's listening on the way home, him and Burcham, Laurel and Hardy that was my nickname for them when they were playing and I was umpiring. Yes. Those two, they were a pair together. Yep. But yes, we'll take a little time off here. We'll come back in the spring and we'll get after it and see what we can do. And yeah, hopefully they'll have me back.
Yep. All right, Coach, we'll go ahead and let you go. Good seeing you. I'm sure we'll run into each other this spring.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
All right, that is Oldenburg girls basketball coach David Disborough. We'll step aside, take our final timeout, and wrap up with Coach's Corner tonight, delivered by Ison's Family Pizza on the Sports Voice Country 103.9 WRBI, WRBI-TV, and the WRBI app.
We don't sell you cars, we help you buy them.
Fleetwood Chevrolet at 950 North Michigan Avenue in Greensburg invites you to visit them. They're here to help you with your next new or pre-owned vehicle purchase, as well as all your service and parts needs. They're the home of Greensburg's only drive-in service lane and free oil changes for life with the purchase of a new vehicle. Give them an opportunity to earn your business at Fleetwood Chevrolet.
We don't sell you cars, we help you buy them.
When looking for the highest standard of HVAC service and care, turn to Hurt & Elko, your local Lennox Premier dealer. Hurt & Elko and their Premier dealer status means you're certain to be working with a company who has the highest level of training, professionalism, and customer satisfaction. For a limited time, they're offering up to $1,900 in rebates on a brand new Lennox system or finance with low monthly payments. Call Hurt & Elko today at 812-934-4646 or visit them online at hurt-elko.com to learn more. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
It's Coach's Corner with Rob LaFerry, delivered by Ison's Family Pizza. Listen on 103.9 FM and the WRBI app, and watch on our Facebook page or at WRBI-TV.com.
And back one final time from the Raver Corner at Ison's Family Pizza. Coach's Corner on this Monday, February 9th, coming to a close. Rob LaFerry rounding out the show tonight, as always, with a look at what's to come on WRBI Sports this week. We have got a full week, but this should be a fun week of broadcasts that we bring your way. Starting with tomorrow night, we've got boys high school basketball on the air. 7:15 pregame, 7:30 tip-off. The Milan Indians on the road to take on the North Decatur Chargers. And then following that matchup, we've got the Indiana Pacers in progress. An always fun rivalry showdown, especially when it's at Madison Square Garden, as the Pacers will take on the New York Knicks. And then we'll have the Pacers still out on the East Coast on Wednesday night. That'll be a 7 o'clock airtime for Indy, as they will be taking on the Brooklyn Nets. That then sets us up for a very back-heavy high school boys basketball schedule Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday night, 7:15 pregame, 7:30 tip-off. It'll be Rushville at Batesville. Friday night, same time, South Dearborn at South Ripley. And then on Saturday afternoon, spend your Valentine's Day afternoon with us. Round, I'll say a 1:15, 1:30 airtime for us on Saturday. It'll be East Central and Batesville, an EIAC rivalry showdown. So again, fun week, competitive week, and make sure to catch all those games with us here on the WRBI FM dial, as well as the WRBI app. A big thank you to our guests tonight. That includes Batesville boys basketball coach Aaron Garrett, Batesville softball coach Gene Cooney, along with players Molly Abel and Cora Roth, plus Greensburg boys basketball coach Colin Rigney, and Oldenburg Academy girls basketball coach David Disborough. Join us next week, of course, for another episode that'll be served up by our friends here at Ison's Family Pizza. So on behalf of Brent Lee back in studio, Annie Nunley, my on-site engineer, and the fabulous folks at Ison's Family Pizza, I'm Rob LaFerry saying so long. We'll huddle up again together next Monday night for Coach's Corner, delivered by Ison's Family Pizza on the Sports Voice Country 103.9 WRBI, WRBI-TV, and the WRBI app.
Listen Monday nights at 6 for Coach's Corner with Rob LaFerry, live from Ison's Family Pizza. Come check out the show in person or listen on 103.9 FM or the WRBI app. And now you can also watch the show happen live at WRBI-TV.com or on our Facebook page. From Southeastern Indiana's local sports voice, WRBI Batesville, Greensburg, Brookville, Versailles.